Okay, we are going to attempt this watercolor this afternoon. I'm sitting outside on my porch. It is a beautiful day in rural America, and I'm so glad that the sun's out, even though we need the rain desperately bad. So anyway, I've done these stamps by Willow. They came from Sizzix as part of the stamping platform tool, the stamping studio, I guess you'd say. And I am making a bookmark for my mother. So I used a couple of her stamp sets, and now I'm going to try to do some watercolor and hopefully not spill stuff everywhere. So I've got rinse water and clean water, and I'm going to be using Tim Holtz Distress crayons. So the first thing I want to do is take my red, and I want to paint this tiny little ladybug. Isn't it sweet looking? Okay, so I'm going to dip my water in there. I'm going to wet my card. I'm using watercolor cardstock from Walmart. Don't tell anybody. Okay, and I'm going to add, so that's obviously now going to be my dirty water. And I'm going to pick some of that color up with a paper towel because it didn't do exactly what I wanted it to. Now, one thing I need to tell you, I am not a watercolorist. That would be my mom, not me. But I'm going to have some fun with this anyway. And I'm going to lay that watercolor in there just like that. All I'm doing is rubbing my paintbrush, my wet paintbrush, over my color stick, okay? So we'll rinse that one off. I'm also working, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm working on top of my great big Misty stamping platform, and it is the large one. Oh, that's not cool. Okay, I'm gonna put water on my flower here. I'm gonna let it sit just a minute and because I forgot to bring the spray bottle. And I'm not going back in there to get it because these dogs that are out here with me will eat my art supplies. How do I know? Well, I have a Doberman that eats everything she can put in her mouth. That is how I know. All right, let's see what color do I want. Oh, I want to use that. I'm going to make some futuristic kind of flowers, and I'm going to use this. It says it's peacock feathers. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to use, there I go, dipping in my dirty water. And that has green on it. We don't want green. Khaleesi, I don't know what you're into, but you need to stop. I told you my dog eats everything. Okay, I'm gonna drop blue in there. This is not a very well thought out video, as you can tell, because I moved my stuff out here on the porch. The wind is blowing. I have nothing to, well, I could use my Misty magnetic platform, I guess. Khaleesi has decided that there's some stuff that needs her ripping attention, so the rustling noises you hear in the background are her tearing up a plastic bag. Yep, that's a Doberman for you. They love to rip stuff. Okay, let's just keep adding. I want more color in there. I'm mostly just playing because, like I said, I am not a watercolorist. But I like the effect you get from dropping the color in like this rather than scribbling your crayon stick on it and then adding water, because I can't ever seem to get good results doing it that way. So I like doing this. Another thing you could do is scribble your crayon on something and then I'm going to bring this over. And then you could scribble it and add water onto a surface. And there goes my brush again. Excuse me, I have to grab it. I'll be right back. Because if I don't grab it, the dog will eat it. I was trying to move my misty light in so that I could get these magneted, that blame it. Get my watercolor piece stuck down with paper. Yeah, I'll get it set in a minute. Okay. No, ma'am. No. Let's do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 brushes. That's what I came out here with. Yep, that's right. Okay. Let's add some more. Let's stick the magnet down and then we'll add more color. Now we're getting some of the deeper in, going in and adding extra stuff. I hope you're not getting my head. I've never filmed myself watercoloring like this. This is a new stick, a new camera holding device that I bought that I have not used before. Okay, now let's go with, let's add purple on the tips. That might be kind of cool. All right, we need to add water. Drop in water. Listen at me using these big fancy terms, like I know what I'm doing. Okay, now rinse the brush, get clean water, and let's go in with this purple. Yeah. Oh, I'm liking that. You can see where my blue traveled outside the lines. You know, that's okay because watercolor, you want it to travel. But one way that you can convince it not to travel is to use embossing powder over your ink. And that kind of helps it keep it reined in, so to speak. I may come back and do some more purples in there in a minute. Well, I see one spot that I could use some more right now. Hear the birds. My husband loves birds, and so he's got a bird feeder hanging out here. And they have him well trained to come and refill the feeder with seeds. Okay, we'll let that rest a minute and we'll move on to the next big one. Add flat water, add flour. Yeah, we're baking here. I got some splatters on there, I see. All right, now let's do the reverse on this. Let's do this, see what happens. So instead of using my paintbrush, I'm just rubbing the watercolor crayon in the water, and I actually kind of like that. That works out much better than scratching it across dry paper and then adding water. That doesn't give you all those ooky lines that I usually get. I think I need a little more water. Okay, let's keep on doing this. This is mostly an experiment on my part to see what I can do and also see how this selfie stick thing works. And I haven't filmed a video in forever and ever and a day, so I suppose I should tell you who I am. I'm Jennifer. I am the person behind Creative Art Spark, such as it is. I like to do all kinds of mixed media, card making, quilting, fiber arts, things like that. And occasionally I manage to capture it on film. I have a small following. I would love it if you decided that you wanted to follow me as well. That would be wonderful. Just hit the like and subscribe button. That would be awesome. And feel free to leave comments. I like to read comments. I've gotten a few, and I usually answer them as quickly as I can. Not that I'm like overrun with with comments or anything, but just saying, I will answer you. So I'm again using this wetting the paper technique and then using the crayon over the water, and I'm liking that effect pretty well. It looks a little different from the first flower, and that's okay. We don't need everything to be, well, of course I reversed the color, so that in itself is different, but the way the ink is looking, the way the pigment, I should say, is looking is a little different. So let's just keep on adding color. I had not worked with these Tim Holtz distress crayons until a few weeks ago, and I went over to my favorite scrapbooking store, Scrappy Shack in Saltine, Georgia, and they had them out for us to play with. So of course I played with them and had to buy some. I've got 3 sets of them. I don't have the whole ensemble one of these days. So I'm just continuing to add in color. And there's that one painted. Now let's look at what we want to do for the inside of these flowers. And I think we need to have an orange. So we'll get this orange color out here, and it's called Carved Pumpkin. And then I'm gonna take my little brush, get some clean water and drop in there. And I don't want it to spread a whole lot. So I think I'm gonna mop some of that back up. And then I'm gonna take this and let's see what we get here. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Carved pumpkin. It causes that middle to really stand out, doesn't it? So there's that. Now, let's look at the leaves and the stems, and I can already tell they're going to be a little tricky. And I've got this green here. I've got, oh, I like that green better. We can use both greens. They're about the same. Rustic Wilderness and Mowed Lawn. Yep, okay. So for this, we're gonna need this little bitty brush. And we're gonna come down through here and wet that stem. And we're gonna make all kinds of mess, as you can see. Let's take this Rustic Wilderness and let's come down through here like this. And that's not as fine a line as I would have liked, but it will do. it is what it is, and we can work with it. Okay. Clean that brush off. Keep feeling like I'm missing a brush. I don't know if one fell off down in the hole in the porch. Oh, there, that's why I'm feeling like I'm missing a brush. All right, let's put some water in these leaves here. And let's take mowed lawn. Yeah. I'm gonna do it on the brush. That just is working better for this one. I've got a little place right there that didn't stamp well, and when I finish, I'm going to go back in with, I have a pen set that I'm going to go back in and add just a little bit of lines. Now I'm going to come along, and I'm not even going to wet these. I'm just going to just give them just a hint of color here. The whining that you hear is Miss Stella. She is underneath the porch in the pen because she can't be trusted to be in the house when her daddy is gone, my son. And so she comes outside every morning when he goes to work, and she's in the pen. The others are pretty good. They get to stay with me. Okay, we're getting our green repainted in. And this is very therapeutic. I enjoy doing this. I'm not good at it, but I have fun. I'm going to come back in here, and I think I'm going to add some orange. So I'll clean my brush off, and I'm probably fixing to make mud, but we're going to do it anyway. Green and yellow make blue, so what's green and orange going to make, I wonder? Drop a little orange in there just to give it a little bit of difference. I haven't tried painting on the porch before. This is really fun. I'm liking it. Yeah, I like that. Oh, now we have the butterflies. So let's clean our brush off again. Let's add water to this butterfly. I should have added clean water to it. Okay, I want to have, let's see. We've not used a dark blue. Let's add a dark blue. Is that dark blue? Chipped sapphire. Yes, that would be dark blue. Let's add that down here. And let that kind of run up through there. Hey, Miss Khaleesi. Good girl. Let's wash our brush off. And then let's add some red. Red, red, red. And just drop that right in there. And watch that blend. Pretty. Oh, I only had one butterfly. I thought I had more than one. I have a dragonfly, though. Dragonfly's gonna get gold. Let's see what color I have that I want to use. Let's use crushed olive. That's not really a gold, though. The only gold that I have is that orange. No, I have dried marigold. Let's do dried marigold. If we can get our tin open. Okay. Wonder how this is going to show up. We'll just have to find out, won't we? Okay, let's get clean water and let's wet that dragonfly's little wings. Okay. Let's take our dried marigold and let's get some color on our brush. And a great big nothing. I must not be doing something right. So let's come in here with the crayon itself. It's doing a little bit. Let's drop it in the water and see what happens. That's another way to get color with it. This is very light. I bet it would look pretty on a darker paper. So let's see what else we got. We have abundant coral. Let's try spun sugar. Let's do spun sugar on the top wings and abundant coral on the bottom wings. How does that sound? Sounds like a game plan. Okay. And that, yet again, is not but dragonflies are delicate, so maybe that's all right. Okay. Not exactly what I had hoped for, but we'll take it. Now let's do his body. And we're just going to come straight up with some reddish. There. Now that works. Okay, so we're going to take that same red and we're going to have his little body, but we're going to blot it off because that's a little. Then we're going to take, Sorry, I bumped the camera. We're going to do the wings and urchin. That's what my granddaughter used to call orange. Urchin. Okay. And we have one more bee to go. So we'll do his body in orange. And we're going to do a dark green for his wings. I like that. Maybe that's what this dragonfly needs. Okay. Now, that's got everything painted, but we got to have some splatters. And you know what? This green would make some beautiful splatters. So we're gonna be very daring. We're gonna take our toothbrush and we're gonna rub some of that on there, and we're gonna go look what I'm doing, Khaleesi. Yeah, you can't have my toothbrush though. Good girl. Okay, that gets green on there. Let's add some orange. But this time, we'll do it with a paintbrush. And I think we are just about done. Where's that green crayon? I like it. Okay, we're done. That pretty much is it. It's going to dry, and then I'll round the corners and put a hole in it and a ribbon so that it becomes a bookmark. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and a comment. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.